My name is Elena Carter, and this is the story of how I fell in love with the wrong man. It started like every beautiful mistake does, quietly, unexpectedly, and with a smile I thought I could trust. Chapter 1: The beginning of everything. I was 26 when I met Daniel, a charming, calm, and well-spoken man who entered my life when I least expected it. I worked as a marketing executive in a small company in Boston, living alone in a small apartment that smelled of coffee and loneliness. He came for a business meeting, confident, composed, and polite. His voice had a certain warmth that made people stop and listen. And when he looked at me, it felt as if he saw right through the walls I had built around my heart. It started with small talks, coffee breaks, emails about projects, casual messages after work. And then it became something else. Late-night calls, long drives, little confessions whispered under the city lights. He told me I was different, that I made him feel alive again, and I believed him. Because when you've been lonely for too long, even a simple kindness feels like love. Chapter 2: Man I didn't know. Daniel told me he was single. He said he had no one, no attachments, no commitments, just a past he didn't like to talk about. I didn't ask too many questions because I was scared of losing what I finally found: affection. Weeks turned into months, and my world began revolving around him. He would come to my apartment after work, cook for me, listen to my rants, kiss my forehead, and promise a future I could finally imagine. He told me, when I'm with you, I forget everything else. I didn't realize what everything else really meant. Chapter 3: The truth that ruined everything. One evening, as I waited for Daniel to come over, his phone buzzed on my couch. He had gone to get something from his car. Out of habit, I glanced at the screen. It said, "Are you coming home tonight? Emily and I miss you." I froze, my heart stopped. My fingers trembled. I opened the message thread. There were hundreds of messages, photos of a woman and a little girl, his wife and daughter. The world I had built in my heart collapsed silently. When he came back, I just stared at him, unable to speak. He looked at me, then to his phone, and realized what I had seen. He didn't deny it. He just whispered, "I didn't mean to hurt you. Eleanor, it wasn't supposed to go this far." Tears streamed down my face. "You said you loved me." He nodded. "I do, but I also love my family." That was the moment I learned that love can be real and wrong at the same time. Chapter 4: Breaking myself to let go. The days after that were a blur. I stopped eating, stopped talking, stopped smiling. I deleted his number but memorized it by heart. Every time my phone rang, I wished it was him, even though I hated him. He tried to reach out, but I blocked him. I knew if I heard his voice again, I'd fall apart completely. People around me said I should move on. But how do you move on from someone who felt like home? I cried until I had no tears left. I hated myself for being blind, for trusting too easily, for loving a man who was never mine to begin with. Chapter 5: The Letter I Never Sent. A year later, I wrote him a letter not to send, just to release what was still burning inside me. Daniel, you taught me how to love, and how painful it can be. I don't hate you anymore, I pity you. Because someday, you'll realize what you lost when you chose comfort over truth. I hope your daughter grows up knowing what loyalty means. I hope your wife never finds out what you've done. And I hope, one day, you remember me, not with guilt, but with silence. Eleanor. I folded that letter and kept it inside a drawer I never opened again. Chapter 6: The Wrong Man. Time heals, but not everything. Some scars fade, some stay. It's been 3 years since Daniel left my life. And yet sometimes when I hear a familiar laugh, or smell his perfume on a stranger, my heart still skips a beat, not because I love him, but because I once did. I still wonder what would have happened if I never met him. Maybe I'd still believe in pure love. Maybe I wouldn't cry over memories that no longer exist. But life has its ways of teaching lessons brutally, beautifully, and permanently. Daniel wasn't the right man. He was the wrong man, but the right heartbreak, because through him, I learned the most painful truth that sometimes love isn't meant to last, it's meant to change you forever. Epilogue. Now, when people ask me if I'm afraid to fall in love again, I smile softly and say, no, I'm just careful where I fall, because I once fell for the wrong man, and it broke me so deeply that I finally learned how to put myself back together.